Hello, and welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today's deck we're going to feature Extus, the Oriq Overlord. I guess the boss monster from Strixhaven. I don't know lore. I don't do that kind of stuff. But I guess he's like the big baddie, the Voldemort, right? He's the only 3-color from the set, so cool. Now he's interesting mardu general because his front side has some applications, right? And there is an infinite you could perform from his front side, but the way I built this deck is to sort of abuse his backside, which is Awaken the Blood avatar, which is a 100 CMC Snorri speed Innocent Blood. Is it Innocent Blood? Right? Which rewards you with a 3/6 avatar with haste. Now, some nerd on a different video, completely unrelated to mine, did the math. I think you can hard cast him, right? If you don't have an infinite mana going on, you could, I think, hard cast him like what, 1, 2, up to 5 times. Paying, hold on a second. All right, so the first time is 3 creatures, second time 4, 5, 6, 7, and then of course the red black. So I think you cast them up to 5 times to do your thing, but we're trying to find our infinite mana just to do it, without needing to do hard math. So I'd consider this a sweaty cedh deck because it does one thing really neat that currently in the meta other decks don't do. Right, we're in this Stax heavy metagame, and so this is a hate bear deck, a rule of law deck, a Stax deck, so to speak. And you ask yourself, well, Tuna, well, how are you going to combo off? Well, it's very simple. I sack, when I'm ready to combo off. This is YOLO play right here. But I'll sack my my rule of law creatures. There's no enchantments in this deck. I'll sack my rule of law creatures to awaken the Blood Artist before I go off. That's very simple. And there are a couple of other cards in here that will sacrifice a creature in order to, whatever. So, yeah, let's get straight into the deck. So you got Extus. Unfortunately, I don't know why there's no alternate arts or borderless box topper things for Extus. I don't get it. Now I think about it, did they do that in Strixhaven? I don't know. Whatever. And there's an infinite with him, and we'll go over that in a second. But of course, dockside is the man of the hour, right? So many ways to abuse dockside. Get that treasure. Get that treasure. If your opponents are scrubs, you're not getting treasure, bro. That's the bottom line, right? They don't have the fast mana rocks, and they don't have like they don't have the fast. That's really what it boils down to, the fast mana rocks, because you're not doing dockside loops under a Mystic Remora or a Rhystic Study. You're crazy. In Yu-Gi-Oh, they used to call that the Maxi challenge. So, but of course we have dockside and Cludstone Curio to do some disgusting shenanigans with. We have the LED, and we're gonna have the bomberman combo in here. Just pitch the LED for white, use 2 of those white to get back the LED, and rinse, wash, repeat. Now the deck is a little out of order the way I'm showcasing it, and I'll explain in more detail certain cards and their synergies as I delve deeper. So we have a Curse Totem. Curse Totem's great. It really shits on a lot of opponents. I could totally play around Curse Totem. Psych, just kidding. The one and only card in this deck that cannot play around the Curse Totem is the Oriq Salvagers. So, that gets tricky, right? Like, there's not a lot of ways for me to shut off my own artifacts. Right? Maybe a grinding station. So yeah, but what can you do? And then we have Graph Digger's Cage to really shit on the Winota decks that are out there right now. I like to be the one in control of the Stax pieces. I know, like, I could just play around their Stax pieces, but when the time comes, if the Winota is outpacing you, you have to drop like the Graph Diggers, which I could just like Enlighten Tutor for or something like that. And then we have our Archon of Armeria. Right, we're getting to the Stax pieces. We have the Eidolon of Rhetoric, the Aethersworn Canonist, the Sanctum Prelate. What number I would call? It depends. Really, it really depends. I probably call 2, but it just depends on the matchup. A Containment Priest, something I'm just tinkering around with. I don't abuse like cheating into play creatures in this deck. Like Dockside is hard casted Dockside under a Cloudstone Loop, and even Extus, I don't like special from the graveyard or anything. I just bring it back to my hand. So just tinkering around with Containment Priest. No rush to bling it out. I used to have this one, the Invocation Containment Priest, but like I don't know. I never liked the invocations. Like, stay on topic, right? It's either going to be creatures or instants and sorceries or enchantments. And they're kind of just all over the place. So, and like I said, I didn't play with Containment Priest enough, so I sold it for a pretty penny. So we have a lot of ways to turn off these Stax creatures, right? We could, either Awaken the Blood Artist, or a Diabolic Intent, or Infernal Plunge, or Coin the Weak, or a Phyrexian Tower. I'm glad I never foiled out the Phyrexian Tower, right? Because I'm feeling the Secret Lair. I'm not a big fan of Secret Lairs, but when interesting ones come along, when interesting flavors of Pringles come out, I'll definitely buy them. A bit of a warning, right? I feature these bleeding out decks, but Mardu isn't my favorite color combination. And the more I say that, the more it becomes like a lie. Because I wind up like playing a lot of Mardu decks. I got into Mardu, before, like, was it 2019, 2020, when everyone was like on Mardu Turbonaws strategies. Before that, like right before that, I had a friend who just, he plays more casual, overpowered Timmy decks, right? Is that what it is, Timmy? Like just green stompy bullshit. And he was just sick and tired of me spell slinging. So, I gave him my mountain stack of generals. I said, you pick, and I'll build that. And he wound up picking like a Timna. It was a Timna and the other white red guy. Shit, why am I forgetting his name? The one that lets you like attack twice, right? Bruce. Yeah. So I built like a Timna Bruce because that's what he picked, and I kind of like fell in love with the deck. So that's how I got into Mardu. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. A lot of my Mardu staples aren't blinged out because my heart's just not in it with Mardu. This thing, worthy cause. What the hell is this? Worthy cause. 1 instant with buyback 2, and you sack a creature, and I gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Wow, wow, so cool. That's such a good card. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding. With dockside extortionist, I think what do you have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you could make 6 treasure, you get infinite. You net 1 treasure, making your infinite mana. If Extus is face up on the board, right? If Extus is on board, you sack the dockside with buyback. You're going to copy it, and Extus is going to bring the dockside back to your hand, and beep boop beep boop beep boop boop bop, just like that. Easy peasy. And I guess the last worthy cause could just sack the Extus, and then you cast it. That's sorcery part. Opposition agent. Aven Mind Sensor. Same thing with Aven Mind Sensor. I had the invocation Aven Mind Sensor. I'm not feeling those invocation creatures. I just don't. Right? And then I lost the bid to get the OG print in. So I just stuck with this stupid one. Again, my heart's not in it with Mardu. Dwathy Voidwalker. Really good. Really good. Drowneth Magistrate. Linvala, Keeper of Silence. Yes. Yes, Queen. We drop a Linvala, a lot of people just, they get really, really sad. Really sad. I remember playing in a pod, right? I was like I was playing in a casual pod, and this poor opponent was running a Linvala as it was some chick was running Linvala as her commander, and I feel so bad because she couldn't understand why it wouldn't survive on the board too long, right? It's very predictable when you're casting Linvala on your command zone, and it's not going to stick around. Everyone's going to hold up their spot removal to get rid of it because it's just too crazy of a card when it hits the board. So Linvala. Simian Spirit Guide. Ranger, Captain of Eos. Ragavan. I know Ragavan when he got banned in Legacy, right? People were like, "Oh, it's going to drop the price," but I don't know. Do people play Paper Legacy anymore in 2022? I don't think it's dropping the price of anything, bro. Esper Sentinel. A Stitcher Supplier, which is great. If all these little 1-drops, all these little Ranger Captain of Eos targets are really good. If you're doing Cloudstone loops, and Stitcher Supplier is definitely that card. And Skirt Prospector. There's no Corpse Dance, so I'm not doing like the Corpse Dance Skirt dockside loop. I don't know. Maybe if there are no Winotas at the table, right? If there's no Winotas at the table, I'll just swap Graph Diggers and Corpse Dance. Don't tell anybody. That's our secret. Okay, so our counters package. Starting things off with our soft counters. Silence. I might, silence is just so good. I've had the silence for so long, and I actually picked it up on one of my Japanese trips, and it's done so much work, and it's come in so clutch that I feel like it's like lucky version of the card. So I don't know if I'm gonna upgrade it to the retro art. I don't know. It just comes in so clutch. A deflecting swat, yes, why not? There are many times, right? So this deck has actually been played. This deck has actually been played in real game. I feel like some of these deck tech videos, they feature the decks like they just put it together, but they don't actually like play test a deck. I have this sneaking suspicion But this Extus deck has been out there in the battlefield. I've been running this for like 2 weeks, and it's been really gross, really gross. And Extus is on board a lot of the time, even though there's no there's no beat face strategy. I'm running all these creatures, but I'm not doing like a beat face strategy. I'm kind of just sitting back. So there's no Sarah's Ascendant. There's no Timna, things like that. But Extus is still good enough, especially when he's on board because you have nothing else better to do with your mana, and he's not like the target of hate. It's the Stax pieces. So people are gonna overextend to get rid of your Ragavan. They're gonna overextend to get rid of your Rule of Law effects, and then I'm just gonna like instant speed get it back to my hand, bro. What do you think of that? So deflecting swat, yeah, it stays in the deck. We have Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast. At Tybalt's Trickery, our tutor package. We have a Vampiric Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Gamble, the worst card ever printed. Always gamble for your World Gorger, so this way they just discard it. Oh, there's no World Gorger combo in this deck, right? Only because, I guess, it's built as a Staxy Rule of Law deck. You could definitely take out some of these hate bears and put your 3 Animate Deads, your World Gorger, your Entomb, and things like that into the deck. And then you could put your Mayhem Devil and your Leon and Relic Water, right? But this is, like I said, built as a Rule of Law deck. Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, Tainted Pact, Praetor's Grasp for your opponent's shit. A little bit of recursion. I know I have the Grafdigger's Cage in it, but I'm not like going out of my way. I'll only go out of my way for Grafdiggers if I'm in the Winota matchup. Nothing else. So we have a Yawgmoth's Will, and of course we're in white, so we're gonna abuse the shit out of Savine's Reclamation. We have our rituals. We have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Reign of Filth, Rite of Flame, Jessica's Will, and then our removal package is interesting. So something I like about this deck, a long time ago, like maybe 1,000 years ago, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And there were certain rules in Yu-Gi-Oh! That at the time, I don't know how the game is played now. It looks ridiculous. But there was like three rules, right? You needed to be able to spot remove, draw, and special summon, right? Destroy, special, and draw at all times. And so this deck gives me like those old school Yugi feels. So a lot of my board wipes are like these one-sided board wipes. You'll see. So Swords of Plowshare, Wear and Tear, Fire Covenant. Damn. Winds of Abandon. Tuna, aren't you gonna let your opponents go so plus on a Winds of Abandon? Shut up. And then, of course, we have Appearance of the Abyss, and an Ad Nauseam, and a Wheel of Misfortune, and, of course, a Wheel of Fortune. No, Faithless Looting. I couldn't fit it into the deck. No. And then the best of the rest. We have an Underworld Breacherino, a Necro Potence, Grinding Station. Grinding Station is still good. Underworld Breach, just to feed your yard with mana positive rocks. Lotus Petal, Jeweled Lotus, Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone. All the talisman of conviction and indulgence and hierarchy. Right? We don't have mana dorks, so a Chromox, Mox Opal, Mox Diamond, Grim Monolith. All our colorless mana rocks are Mana Vaults, Soul Ring, and Mana Cryptorino. We have all 9 fetches. We have a swamp and a plains. No mountain, right? Just because if I get Blood Moon, like, bro, I don't care. Like, you know, this will be like my basic mountain. We have all 3 duels. Why is it in this order? And all 3 shocks. We have all the other duels, right? The Battle Bond and the Horizon Lands. I don't know. I don't care about these not being foil. Like I said, these aren't my favorite colors. If I did foil them out, they will all be the same traditional classical border, just so they're matching. We have an Ancient Tomb, Gemstone Cavern, Command Tower, Mana Confluence, and a City of Abraias. And there you have it. You have Extus, the Oriq Overlord. Just coming in and spamming that sorcery to death and then swinging for game. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thank you so much. Coming up next, I have a Tasigur deck, right? I was supposed to do a Tasigur series. I didn't. I just condensed 2 different decks into one. Play tested it, hate it. Came across something that is so obvious for my Hullbreaker combo that I just rebuild the deck so the main bad guys are Hullbreaker and Toxrill. That card being Arkham's Astrolabe. I completely forgot about that card, and so I rebuilt the deck, and so I want to feature that next. These are the 2 decks that I've been running for like the last 2 weeks. Anyway, so they're play tested, so they've been out in the field. Stamp of approval. Anyway, thanks so much.